Nothing ruins a resin project like trapped air bubbles. Beyond just making the part look pretty, using a vacuum chamber or pressure pot really enhances the physical properties of the part. When you eliminate air, you're essentially creating a denser, more uniform material. Hey everyone, it's Raul from the BJB Tech Department. Today we're breaking down the two main ways to fix this: vacuum degassing and pressure casting. What's the setup look like? A vacuum pump, a vacuum chamber with a thick lid or bell jar. The size of the pump matters.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Good one.
The higher the CFM, cubic feet per minute, the faster the air is going to be pulled out of the vacuum chamber, and that's a good thing. So here's a quick breakdown of how that works. As a vacuum pump pulls the air out of the tank, the pressure inside the tank drops. This causes the bubbles to rise to the top, expand, and pop. Opposite of pressure casting, which squeezes the bubbles down, but more on that later. What you're left with is a liquid with no air inside, leading to a perfectly solid, bubble-free part when it cures. Let's talk about some common misconceptions. When you pull vacuum, you're not heating up the material. Sometimes when you pull the material out of the chamber, it may feel a little bit hot, but that's actually coming from the exotherm of the material. Remember, the larger the mass, the faster it's going to start kicking off and creating some exotherm. So materials with faster work times are going to start heating up a lot faster. Another common misconception is pull vacuum until you stop seeing bubbles. Bubbles really never stop. If you're using a paper cup, the porosity in there is going to create some bubbles. There could be moisture in the material. A good rule of thumb is once the material rises and drops, you only need about 30 to 60 seconds after that. Remember, the longer you keep it under vacuum, the longer you're taking into your work time. Another common misconception is over vacuuming. You can't over vacuum a material. You're not extracting any precious materials or diminishing the physical properties. Some pros and cons. Pros, it's actually extracting the air bubbles. Cons, it can be messy. Some resins cure too fast to vacuum. Think of shorter work time materials. Once the pump is on, keep your eyes on the cup. You're looking for the muffin effect. As the atmospheric pressure drops, those tiny invisible air bubbles begin to expand rapidly. Watch the material climb. It could easily grow 3 or 4 times its original volume. This is why headspace is important. If your container is too small, you're going to have a massive sticky cleanup on your hands. And there it goes. That sudden crash or collapse is the moment the bubbles finally burst at the surface. That's a visual signal that the bulk of the air has been evacuated. Don't stop the pump immediately though. Let it simmer for a little bit. 30 to 60 seconds is fine. It's just pulling the final air bubbles out. Once the surface looks calm, you're ready to pour.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at it?
Oh, would you look at that? Just look at that. Would you just look at it?
Now let's talk about pressure casting. A pressure pot doesn't remove air. It crushes air bubbles until they're microscopic and invisible. A key rule with pressure pots is you must keep the resin inside under pressure until it's fully cured. If you release the pressure too early, the bubbles are going to expand to the original size while the resin is still soft. Quick safety note, make sure you check that PSI rating on the pot and never exceed it. Another quick note on pressure pots. If you pressurize a silicone mold, you have to cast the resin in that mold at the same or lower pressure. Why? If the mold has tiny air pockets on the surface, the pressure pot is going to crush those air pockets during casting. That's going to cause warts or bumps on your final resin part. In a perfect world, you're going to use vacuum and pressure for your parts. If you're looking to get a vacuum chamber set up, just be aware there's some budget options out there that are 2-3 CFM. Those probably aren't going to be sufficient to maybe do a silicone mold or resin cast. We recommend at least 5 to 6 CFM. Anything lower than that is probably not going to be powerful enough to pull all the air out. There's a lot of nuance to this subject matter, but if you need help, we're only a phone call away. As always, if you have any questions, give the tech team a call. I'm happy to help.
You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.